Yo, what's going on, guys? It's Houston Sports Talk back in the video day, and today I'm going to be doing my Houston Texans record predictions for the 2025 season. It is time for Houston Texans football to be back, and before tomorrow's season starts at 3:25 Central Time against the Los Angeles Rams, I am going to do my Houston Texans 2025 record predictions. Here we go. Obviously, it's going to be starting off with the Rams, and the Rams, as I've already mentioned. And I'm going to get real honest with this game. I love the Texans, but I just don't really see them winning this game. The Rams, I feel like, have a good defense. They've got a good defensive line. The Texans' offensive line in the last couple years has been weak. And I really think, in true honesty, I think the Texans' offensive line is going to improve this year than it was last year, but I still don't think it's going to be as at the full strength you would like it to be at. And with that being said, with no Christian Kirk and no Joe Mixon, I think if Nick Chubb can go out there and play a great game, and Nico Collins absolutely puts up one of the best games we've seen, I think the Texans can 100% win this game. But it is a tough matchup because the Texans' defense is outstanding, and they are 100% going to be if the Texans win this game tomorrow, it's going to 100% be the reason why is the defense. But let's not act like it's not a tough challenge for this defense tomorrow. You've got Kyron Williams as the running back, and Blake Corum as the two running backs you're going up against for this Texans run defense. Then the two pass catchers of Puka Nacua and Devontae Adams for this secondary. This defense, I think, has done a great job against a lot of great teams, but that is a hard matchup. So, and then with the offense, I think with Kirk being out, it's going to be hard because you've got two guys like Jaden Higgins and Jalen Noel playing in their first two games of their career, but the Rams secondary isn't as good as you would think. So I think Nico Collins could have a great day tomorrow, and the Texans could 100% go with a win. But I'm going to go with the Rams winning this game. Number one, I don't really see the Texans starting off 2-0, and I'd much rather prefer the Houston Texans winning Monday Night Football against the Bucs because I'm going to be at that game, so I'd love to see a win there. So, yeah, I'm going to give the Texans a win at home Monday Night Football against the Buccaneers to advance their record to 2-0. Or sorry, 1-1. But that's where, going to go back to negative things. I've got the Texans record going to 1-2, losing to the Jacksonville Jaguars. I think the Jaguars are going to be improved this year. I really think Trevor Lawrence can have a big year with Brian Thomas and Travis Hunter. And I think we usually see the Houston Texans and the Jacksonville Jaguars split their series. They didn't last year because the Jaguars weren't healthy, but we did see that for the Texans, in 2023 when both the Texans and the Jaguars were fairly good teams. And so I think if the Jaguars are improved this year, which I definitely do think they will be, they're going to get at least one, and I like to think the Texans would beat the Jaguars at home. But you know what? Actually, I'm gonna switch my pick here. Thinking about it, we've always seen the Texans do well in Jacksonville, but struggle against Jacksonville at home. So actually, switching my pick, I'm going with the Texans winning this game against the Jaguars and then losing to the Jaguars at home. So I've got the Jaguars as a win on the road to improve to 2-1. Then at home against the Tennessee Titans, I'm going with the Texans winning that game. I think that should be a 3-score win game for the Texans, but probably be a 2-score win for the Texans to improve to 3-1. So 3 wins in a row. Of the Texans dropping a game against the Ravens to go to 3-2, then beating the Seattle Seahawks on the road. That should be a really good win for the Texans. I think that should be an easy win as well. They'd be 4-2. I'm going to go with the Texans losing to the 49ers at home to be 4-3, but then beat the Broncos at home to go to 5-3, lose to the Jaguars at home to go to 5-4, then beat the Titans in Tennessee 6-4, and then you've got Thursday Night Football against the Buffalo Bills. I'm going with the Texans. We saw Josh Allen last year have an incredible rookie season. MVP season is what I meant. MVP season is what we saw from Josh Allen last year, and he was incredible. There was not many games for Josh Allen where he looked terrible. But what was the game that Josh Allen looked his worst last year? Maybe one of the games in his career he's looked the worst. That was against the Houston Texans defense last year. And if you ask me, the Houston Texans defense this offseason actually improved, adding in C.J. Gardner-Johnson, adding in, not just C.J. Gardner-Johnson, but bringing back Sheldon Rankins, also getting back a fully healthy Jalen Petrie. So knowing those guys are back, and, knowing Petrie's back, and you've had additions like Rankins and C.J. Gardner-Johnson, and you made a really good draft pick in Jalen Smith as well, I think this is going to be even harder for Josh Allen to deal with. Thursday Night Football in Houston, that is a tough game for a guy like Josh Allen to go through. Josh Allen, we've seen him win great games, but we've seen this Texans defense take care of him. I'm trusting the Texans defense takes care of him, and the Houston Texans take advantage of being at home for Thursday Night Football and beat the Buffalo Bills. Then I'm going with the Texans beating the Indianapolis Colts at Indianapolis to get a W, which would take them to 8-4. But then I'm going with the Texans losing to the Kansas City Chiefs in Kansas City to make them 8-5. I'm going with the Texans beating the Cardinals to bounce back to improve to 9-5. Then I'm going to go with the Texans. I'm going to go with them dropping. No, so I'm sorry. No, I'm going to go with them beating the Raiders at home as well. Then I'm going to go with them losing the Chargers. I just saw the way Justin Herbert played yesterday. We know he's going to look for some revenge against the Texans in Los Angeles. I got the Texans going 0-2 at SoFi, 10-6. And then I'd like to think with a 10-6 record, the Houston Texans have locked in the AFC South, and there is nothing to worry about with the AFC South. And C.J. Stroud gets to rest that game against the Indianapolis Colts. But even if Davis Mills is starting that game for the Houston Texans, and he's got the Texans' backups out there, which is still really good, at home against the Indianapolis Colts, Davis Mills with the backups, both defensively and offensively, I'm sorry, the Texans are still beating the Colts, and the Texans are going to finish with an 11-6 record. You guys let me know your thoughts on my record predictions in the comment section, and peace out. Go Texans.